What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I know I've been gone for a long time. I was just taking a much needed break over the holidays. I spent about 3 weeks with my family in Indiana, and I didn't really make YouTube videos during that. I kind of just hung out. I did do some programming stuff and some data collection stuff, so I was still working on true game data, just wasn't making YouTube videos basically. But I'm back now, obviously. You can tell that I'm not in my normal setup, and the reason I'm not in my normal setup is because when I got back to California, which is where I live, everybody in the house that I live in, I rent a room in a house. They all had COVID, so I'm not personally worried about COVID for myself, but I don't want to be part of the problem and unknowingly spread it to people that are at risk and potentially, clog up hospitals and things like that. I am triple vaxxed, but I just wanted to, if it's easy to avoid, why not just avoid it? So I'll be going back there in like a week or so, but I still have my laptop and I'm still going to start grinding out content for you guys. So you can see in the background here this tweet that I put out today. I said I was releasing my first video in about 20 days and that the COD community was not going to like what the video was about. And that was when I had just tested one or two weapons. I didn't know exactly how bad the thing that I found was. And what it was ADS spread or bloom, whatever you want to call it. Someone DM'd me and said, hey, the stoner from Black Ops Cold War has bloom, and so does the MG82. So I went and tested them both, and they both had bloom. And the weird thing about that is that Black Ops Cold War weapons have no attachments to reduce bloom because they didn't used to have it as far as we know. So I went through and I tested all the Black Ops Cold War weapons, retested all the Vanguard weapons. I tested attachments on the Vanguard weapons as well, so I have the plus accuracy and the minus accuracy statistics on that for you guys too. And I will say right off the bat, it's not as bad as I thought it was because when I first tweeted this, I had only tested the MG82 and the Stoner, and really there's not much more to it than those two, unfortunately, but I literally went through and verified everything. This took me like 3 or 4 hours today to do. So if you guys like the content, you want to help support that, consider dropping a like, comment, and sub on the video. Let's jump into it and we'll start talking about the ADS bloom or the ADS spread of the Black Ops Cold War weapons. Before I jump into the ADS bloom statistics from my testing today, I want to cover some things that we're working on for the site right now. So there's that big damage rework I've talked about before that required me to reprogram the whole site because now the Vanguard guns have multiple attachments that can stack with damage modifiers. Before, we only ever had one attachment that would change the damage values of a gun. So that's been a huge issue for me, and we've had to go through and reprogram all of that. Probably about 50% done with that programming. And you can see over on the right here, I have 7 of 18 weapons tested, so I have all the damage modifying numbers for 7 of the 18 guns from Vanguard. We are also going to be adding Apex Legends to the website, so that should be coming very soon. I have that data already. I just have to finish this damage rework and then plug all those numbers into the website. So that'll take some time. Recoil plots for all Vanguard weapons in Warzone. This is a premium feature that obviously is not up on the site yet. I don't have the recoil plots for the Vanguard weapons, but I actually have started working with Lucifer192. He's going to help with the data collection for all this stuff. So hopefully that'll speed things up a lot. It'll be really nice to have another person working with us. It's a pretty exciting jump for us too as a company. We're not really a company yet. It's only 2 people, but now it's kind of 2.5 people. He's going to be part-time basis, but yeah, that'll just be great. Moderator privileges for TGD profiles. So this means if you're a streamer and you have a True Game Data profile, on your True Game Data profile, you're going to have, we're working with Quick Stats Bot, which is a Twitch bot that will allow you to basically link your builds from True Game Data directly into your Twitch chat. And then moderator privileges are if you're a moderator for the streamer, they can add you to their True Game Data profile, and you'll be able to modify their weapons and things for the streamer, because a lot of the time the streamers are super busy and they don't actually want to get on True Game Data and do that stuff. Like Iceman Isaac and J-God, those kind of guys, they're probably not going to come directly onto True Game Data and do that themselves. They'll have somebody else do it. But yeah, that's another feature we're working on. Should be done pretty soon. And then the ability to save full loadouts. So this will be perks, lethals, tacticals, just full loadouts, first and secondary weapon. A lot of really cool stuff coming for that. And then also new mobility stats. So there's so many different types of movement. There's strafe speed, there's ADS firing speed, there's firing movement speed, there's all these different stats. We've completely redesigned how movement is going to be shown, and that's going to be coming in a soon, an upcoming update as well. On top of the Apex Legends data, we're also going to be adding COD Mobile data, hopefully sometime relatively soon. I've got a few people that I've talked to about gathering this for me and working with us to get the COD Mobile stats up there too, because COD Mobile is actually pretty big. They have a BR mode now, they have multiplayer. It's just growing rapidly, just like all mobile platforms are. That's kind of the future, I think, for a lot of people for gaming. I mean, us more hardcore players are going to stick to PC probably, but a lot of people play those mobile games, so it'd be really cool for us to get that up there on TGD as well. All right, so again, I don't actually have that much to talk about in this video because it turned out that really the only two guns that had any significant amount of ADS bloom or ADS spread were the Stoner and the MG82. So if I tested 6 Modern Warfare weapons, 2 SMGs, 2 ARs, and all the ARs, SMGs, and LMGs for Vanguard, just because I wanted to be sure that nothing was in there that had been changed or mixed up at all. Because as you guys probably know, they removed bloom, I don't know, probably a month after release of the Vanguard guns, and I think some people thought it was still around and might still be affecting how the weapons performed, and there's been some confusion as to whether or not the accuracy stat in-game, which was what affected the bloom before, actually does anything now. So I tested that as well. I went in and tested a max and min accuracy build of 2 of the Vanguard guns just to see what happened, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. But first of all, I just want to show you guys what a gun without bloom looks like. So this is the Modern Warfare AMAX. I tested shooting 70 meters away, trying to be as precise as possible. Basically, I would aim right at the 10 on the top here, and then that's the bullet drop at that distance. And you can see that this has basically no bloom. This is within the error. I would say my circle of error is probably around the size of the 10, which is exactly how big the bullet spread pattern came out. I was very, very careful with this, as I always am, to make sure that it was not, imprecise on where I was actually shooting. So this is what a gun without bloom looks like. And then if you open the Stoner here, you'll see the Stoner very, very clearly has quite a bit of ADS spread or bloom, whichever one you want to call it. Again, my margin for error is probably about the size of the 10 here, and I had bullets all the way out outside the first ring in some cases. So there's some pretty significant bloom on the Stoner. I don't know if it's been like this forever. I don't know if this is a recent change where they added this in. But like I said, this was the first gun I tested, and the person that reached out to me said that they also did this for Vanguard guns, like increased it again on Vanguard guns, and also thought that there'd be a bunch of other Black Ops Cold War guns that had this. So that's why I was tweeting and saying that I found something that was going to really piss off the community, because like I said, these Black Ops Cold War guns don't have any way to reduce this. So I thought it was going to be a huge deal, but it's actually the only 2 guns that are very clearly showing bloom are the Stoner and the MG82. So let me find the MG82 on here. Again, this one pretty clearly, my margin for error is around the 10, and I had some bullets go all the way out into the outside ring. And this is single fire tapping, just like I've always done for testing bloom. And then, like I said, I went through all the Vanguard guns, and none of the Vanguard guns had any ADS bloom that I could tell. I do think potentially some of the Black Ops Cold War guns could actually have a tiny bit of bloom, but it's like such a small amount that I can't really say for sure that there's actually bloom. This is the EM2 again. My margin for error is about the size of the 10, and this is a little bit bigger than that. So I'm thinking maybe there's a really, really small multiplier on some of these guns, but it's so small that I'll never be able to actually quantify it in any way. But like I said, I went in and I tested a max accuracy build and a min accuracy build on the Black Ops or the Vanguard guns because I wanted to see if that stat still did anything. And it turns out that it does nothing at all. So if we go look at this real fast. All right, so here we've got on the left side, that was the max accuracy build. On the left side, that was the STG. So this one singular hole, I was able to put the bullet in the exact same hole over and over with that STG, and that's because the attachments also really helped with aim sway. So it made it really, really easy to actually hit the same exact spot over and over. It wasn't because the accuracy was lowered, I don't think. I think it was purely because the aim sway was lowered, which made it a lot easier to repeatedly hit that spot. And this was a max accuracy build of the MP40. Again, this is just completely due to aim sway. The SMGs have a lot more sway than the ARs, so it was much more difficult to hit the exact same spot over and over. And then on the right side here, this image is the minimum accuracy build of both those guns. So again, STGs on the left, MP40s on the right, and you can see that these look pretty much identical. Again, the STG has a little bit more spread here, and that's, again, I'm pretty sure purely just because of the aim sway of the gun compared to the other build that I had. MP40 looks literally the same size and everything. So yeah, accuracy stats in game do absolutely nothing. You don't have to worry about bloom at all on the Vanguard guns anymore. So that's going to make a lot of people happy. I assumed that there was still some bloom, and I also assumed that the attachments still modified it. So I was really happy that this is how the results actually came out, that there is no ADS spread at all anymore. All right, guys, I think that pretty much covers everything I wanted to talk about in this video. Again, like I said, I'm back now. I'm going to be trying to crank out videos for you guys again like I used to, pretty much one a day. Trying to get on a good schedule where I make a video at night and then post it in the morning. And I'm going to try to just do that daily and get on a better routine than I've ever been on before, and see where we can take True Game Data this year, expanding to other games, bringing other people in to help me test. I'm just trying to make this as big and as successful as we possibly can. But I appreciate you guys so much for all the support as always. And I look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks in all of my future videos.